It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. It's a Saturday special, and today I got Rick Lambert. You know Rick Lambert is the owner of Sell to Win, and he's also the owner of N2 Communications. And I got to tell you something. The thing that I like about Rick is Rick was living in this digital world for about 10 years. He didn't just show up during a pandemic. Rick, how are you doing, man?
Good, buddy, and thank you for having me on the Saturday special. I think I heard that's one up from the Friday special. Is that correct?
Well, we got to go. We got to go where the market's going, my friend. The audience wants more. They want more of Ray, so I'm giving them some weekend stuff. But first I got to apologize to the people in the audience because they may be getting a blind spot from the light coming off of your head there. You're looking pretty good, Rick. You didn't have to worry about having someone cut your hair like I did during the pandemic. What, you just polish it?
No, I haven't, but, I told a group this morning, I talked about 40 channel business managers for OEM, and I told them that before this whole coronavirus, I used to have a full head of hair, and now based on the adversity, look what's happened to me.
Well, you better update your picture there on LinkedIn. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to turn you up a little bit. But make sure you update that picture so we know that you really don't have hair anymore. But
Thank
friends,
you very much for welcoming me that way as a guest, Ray.
Well, at the end of the day, we have to be honest. We're honest on the end of the day with Ray, sometimes painfully. Hey, I got to tell you something, Rick. What's really kind of troubling, so I wanted to bring you on and talk to you about this, is we see a whole lot of movement into the digital landscape, or that intersection, as I call it, between the digital and physical world. All of a sudden, we got experts coming out of the woodwork. And it's funny for me to watch some of this because I see people that used to argue with the innovators like yourself who were here a decade ago and talking about how, that's irrelevant. Oh, we don't need to be in social media. Oh, all the reasons why not. And now those same people are like jumping on the bandwagon. They're the experts in digital selling. So I just want to make sure that my friends in the imaging channel and the IT providers out there really know who the expert is. And it's Rick Lambert when it comes to the digital landscape and training in that digital landscape. And, you've been in Canada doing this a long time. You work with OEMs, you work with Fortune 500 companies, you got an awesome reference list. But can you just give us a quick overview of Sell to Win? I know you got some powerful slides. You could probably walk through that. Show us some of that so that people out there really understand who you are.
So, Ray, I will here in a second. I shared a quote this morning that's relevant to your viewers, and you do a great job, by the way. I think the way you've used video and LinkedIn is an example for a lot of people to follow. I told the group this morning of tenured salespeople, and our pre-scouting report said based on their hairdos, there was a lot of experience on the call. And what I said to them was, sometimes it's what you learn about sales and marketing after you know it all that really counts. And I think we're learning that now with what's going on. So just quickly, I think a lot of people, I try not to sell too much on LinkedIn and different platforms, but on the right side, I started selling copiers in 1989 after playing hockey in the minors, and grew up selling copiers, sales managers. I was a VP, had P&L responsibility for a $30 million MSP. And then I get into the trading business, and on the right side, we've done probably over 500 live events for copier dealers, managed print providers, IT service providers, et cetera. We're up into security now. Mm-hmm. But on the right side, we built this on-demand video-based learning system, our E-Academy we call it. And you can see the curve on the right side there, because with the turn rates, et cetera, people just couldn't spend the money to send someone to a live event. And you've preached this before. So our curriculum kind of starts out at LinkedIn as step number one. We have to create the virtual profile. It's the new Rolodex, right, for today's sales rep. So we've done, I'll tell you right now, like a tremendous amount of work in the last 45 days on LinkedIn. We can't believe it. And to your point, I think there's other people they're doing, and I think it's good for people to look around. What we've learned is from training probably over 1,500 reps in the industry you speak to, look, success leaves clues, and so we bring those into our programs. And that's so we base level, we train them on LinkedIn. Then we coach them right up through business to business, managed print, how to sell doc management, how to sell managed IT, and now into managed security services. On the left side, because the buyer's online today, which we've been talking about for a decade, like you said, the other business I have, N2 Communications, we provide managed digital marketing services, and we specialize in managed service providers. So everything from the website, SEO, getting it set up right, so it's a 24/7 sales engine. I've got an awesome lady that works with me. She runs my digital marketing business, Cheryl Weedmark, my co-host on the Smarketing Show. she's the best I've seen in terms of creating social content. She comes from a TV background, and so I think a lot of the content, Ray, people put out, it's push messages, it's promotional. You mentioned before people stopping these pre-programmed messages that are going out, and we've been able to, with our dealers, really help them engage people, grow their network, bring them back to the website, and then convert those to leads. And there's an art to that. But basically, we do sales training, virtual, video, and we specialize in digital marketing for managed service providers.
Well, I got to tell you, it's a pretty impressive track record. Bring yourself back down here. I can't see you anymore.
That's the virtual world, Ray.
I got to say, I was one of the first I call this a digital sandwich. I got my cell phone over here recording me talking to you in another digital landscape, and it's kind of interesting. It's different. I think the reality of it is, as we all went home and we went into this remote world, there's a lot of opportunities, but more importantly, it brings individualism to the forefront like never before. And if you think about that, we were in the office environment, we hung around our groups, we went to work, we had our work life, we had our home life, and now we're kind of merging those two lives together. And it's a great opportunity for sales reps, for dealer owners to really take advantage of their individualism, because it's really that collaboration of individualism which drives things forward. It's not, everybody thinking the same. It's not the old way we used to do things where we tried to get everybody to buy into one particular concept and ignore all the rest of them. And we're seeing some really cool, innovative stuff in this digital landscape. I saw a thing the other day where a 16-year-old kid is teaching seniors how to use Zoom and stuff so they can talk to their grandkids in a different way. So, there'll be a lot of innovative strategies coming around. In our space, sales reps are going to sell more and more in a virtual world. We all know that. Here's a question for you. How many salespeople do you believe did a Zoom interview with a customer and then asked that customer if they could share it with a prospect? I'll bet you maybe 2 or 3. But what a great opportunity that they could have called up one of their customers, had a nice interview about how great they are. That's where we're trying to drive the message. And then they could have shared that with some of their prospects. So, instead of just sharing the same old stuff, I got a copy, or I'm going to give you a 90-day deferred. If I hear that again, my head's going to explode.
Well, first of all, we're coaching our clients not to offer the 90-day deferral. We're coaching them to, hey, what if I could give you half price for 6 months?
Yeah.
Now, this is just a packaging move, right? But I think more people think they'll be out of this thing in 6 months versus 3 months. I think what might be relevant to your viewers today is, what are dealers doing in this virtual world? And I'll give you a couple things. Number one is LinkedIn. I mean, what we do with the clients is we evaluate their current digital DNA. We look at the rep profiles. Does it face up? Because the customers are there. That's the watering hole, LinkedIn, where your customers are. Number two is we're helping them, and you've been on this for years, Ray. You've been a pioneer in video, and I know, candidly, some people maybe look at your video and go, hey, I don't agree with everything that guy says, but they've got to give you the aces in terms of consistency, video, power. And we're coaching a lot of sales reps right now how to do selfie videos. Like, what do they say? Because people, I use the analogy of a pool party, right? Everybody goes to the pool party. They got their bathing suit in the car. They're not sure if they're going to jump in. Then after a few lubricators, one guy goes in, the second guy goes in. Before you know it, you're in there swimming yourself, and it feels pretty good, shooting video, right?
Yep.
The second thing is we're seeing a lot of webinars, okay, which I think are great. The attendance is through the roof.
Yep.
Okay. The good news, too, is you don't need a traditional 3-month runway. People are at home. They're not traveling.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
And we just this week did the industry's first virtual business technology show, not a webinar. And the difference is, what we specialize in, Ray, is something we call corporate entertainment. Okay, we think we got to separate ourselves from everybody else, or our clients do. We do that for our clients. And so my cohort, Cheryl Weedmark, who runs our intercommunication side, we come up with the idea of doing like TV shows, because she used to be a TV anchor.
Sure.
So we just did our first one for a great client in Boise, Idaho, Allied, great people. And we had live entertainment, comedian act. We had interviewed all their SMEs like a TV show. It was phenomenal. The feedback was excellent. And I think the more we can think virtual in ways we can attract people to us, showcase our brand in a way that's not promotional but educational, That's the way we're trying to take our clients, and the results are showing.
Well, you just got to be an entrepreneur. Just because we're at home, just because we have to use digital technologies, doesn't mean we can't innovate. Doesn't mean we can't try to do something different. I think the thing we got to be careful of, you could point a camera at the grass and say, "Let's watch grass grow," but you know what? No one's going to watch it. So I've been beating a horn to get people to do video. Get out there, do some video. But I guess I forgot to tell them, you also have to practice doing video. Don't just, do a video that comes out totally lunacy and then every day you want to do another one. Try to, bring some content to the end users that can get some relevance, as you say. But more importantly, you got to practice your craft. You don't just grab a camera and do it. Now we want you to be able to do that, but you have to practice that first. And I think that's a message with anything.
So here's a thought. Okay, sorry to interrupt.
Well, go ahead.
If I told you, and I'll use a hockey analogy because I'm Canadian, okay? If I told you how to take a wrist shot, okay? I just said, hey, Ray, take a wrist shot. You might be holding the stick upside down.
Yep.
So I agree with your point about practice, but the problem is, okay, there's an old saying that bad sales training lasts forever. Okay?
Well, I agree with that.
Okay, so I think with a little bit of coaching, and this is where we're helping the clients, right? Is a little bit of structure, because people don't want to look bad. They want to look good. They want to feel comfortable and confident what they're doing, right? And have a good video production.
Sure.
So I think a little bit of coaching at the front end is going to make people more confident and get on board. Look, our marketing show this week literally was about how to get your people engaged on social media. I'm talking the sales reps. It's arguably a top 3 problem, okay? Never mind people's websites being messed up, no lead gen, etc. And that's what we're trying to do right now, is take something you always preach, take the physical sales world right away to a virtual or digital standpoint for air coverage to be top of mind at point of need. That's what we're doing with customers right now.
Well, I think a lot of people, it's just like, my buddy Norm McConkie will talk about e-commerce, and, people think it's either one way or the other. They don't understand that we can still live with some of the old concepts that we used to, make a lot of money at. But we have to understand that we're moving into this digital landscape, and there has to be a mixture of both. But, my point was that, and I agree with you that practice, you can practice bad and just end up really, really bad. So you do need to reach out. I remember you reached out to me. You gave me some great tips at the beginning of this. I didn't start just doing videos. But I think there's a whole lot of, and people do reach out to me. I've coached a lot of people over the last 2 years or so. But, I'll tell you this, if I'm a dealer owner, and I'm not understanding the digital landscape, then I need to figure out how to get there quickly, because it's almost too late. Because just because the pandemic's about ready to end, none of us can ever say we didn't see this coming. I mean, those days are over. So the next time we have to do this, go through this same type of an exercise, and we can argue whether we're going to have to or not. But we have to be prepared, and I don't think a business owner out there is not going to take this serious and get in that preparation mode. So
Ray, here's a thought for you, okay? If you're watching right now, I believe today the dealer has to think about who they hire to do their digital marketing and their sales training like they're hiring a lawyer in a case they have to win.
That's a good point, and I talk about human capital a lot, and here's what we do. We take a VP of sales that's been in the damn industry for 40 years, rotated around from one manufacturer to the other, or one dealer to the other, and we say, we want you to build our digital landscape sales. And as soon as they run into an objection, as soon as they run into something they don't understand, they head back to what they know. It's just common practice. That's what we do. And if we're not talking to people that are in Amazon space, Google space, Facebook space, we have dealers out there that are $500 million companies. And you can't tell me that they can't afford to pay someone a couple $100,000 to be a CMO in an environment that is moving in a total different landscape from yesterday. And
here's just to your point. This is what we do. We operate the CMO service, okay? Virtual Chief Marketing Officer. That's what we're doing. So you don't need someone there on site all the time. You just need someone to go, no, don't go left there. We've seen a lot of dealers go left. That goes right off a cliff. Okay? And people, with all due respect, this digital marketing landscape, it's complex. You can't hire with all due respect, a millennial that's a hotshot on Instagram to understand the value propositions around managed security services, right?
Oh, no, I would. So there's a little clarification there. So, you do it a video, you can't spend 4 hours trying to explain all this. But I will tell you this, that it's not about, first of all, there is, millennials can be 40 and they can be pretty savvy. But the other thing to remember is that there's a lot of individuals that understand how to navigate inside that digital world. And it's really about taking the expertise from the physical applications that we're all comfortable with. We know how to run our business, brick and mortar type business. We all know how to do that. But what we don't know how to do is bring that digital landscape into it. And absolutely, you know, hiring out services, you're going to see more of that as we exit this from not only the imaging channel dealers themselves, but their customers as well. And they're going to start looking at a lot of expertise that they can outsource. But, you know, my point with you is I want to make sure that the imaging channel understands that the guy that was, you know, delivering the future to the present, as I say, for the last decade, you know, is in a great position to help you get inside that digital world. It's not about, you know, he doesn't have to create something brand new and then bring you into it. He's already been there for 10 years. So I appreciate what you do. I'm glad you're part of the Tesla landscape. You know, we got great collaborators working together with their individual best practices to come together to change a marketplace. And it's always good talking to Rick Lambert. I want to tell you to stay safe up there in Canada. I think you guys are getting ready to open up. A lot of us are getting ready to open up. Let's go back out there and knock it down and, you know, make the rest of 2020 what we can. But more importantly, let's make sure 2021 goes where we need it to go.
Ray, thank you for having me on. Congrats on what you're doing. And there's an old saying, right? Success leaves clues. And we're seeing some very good signals right now, despite what's happening. We couldn't be busier than ever. And I've got a great team. It's not just me. So I appreciate the accolades. But I've got some very talented people that get it. And, you know, for those of you wondering how to engage, you know, each week we do this marketing show. Not quite as good as yours, Ray.
Well, I try to put mine on at a different time so we don't compete, you know. But I'm getting a lot more viewers, I think. I don't know.
Thanks for having me on, buddy.
Okay, buddy. I'm going to end this like I always do. Status quo's the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo. Have a great day, my friend.